Hello, my name is Kyle Cook. I'm a transportation engineer with the Salt Lake City Division of Transportation. I'm recording a presentation. Today is November 21st. I just gave this presentation to the Capitol Hill Neighborhood Council last week, and we thought we'd do a recording of the same presentation, put it online, just so that people have access to the information and get an update on where we're at. So Salt Lake City is partnering with the Capitol Hill Neighborhood Council to implement traffic calming strategies. This is the result of nearly a 3 years long process. And our goal today is really just provide an update on where things are at. We've got a web map that shows locations of proposed speed humps. We have some content that illustrates some proposed intersection changes, all with the goal of slowing down traffic in the neighborhood and promoting walkability. So this timeline kind of shows where we started back in 2019, sort of developing that plan, refining it, and I'll talk more about the funding source that's driving this construction. But our big goal is really to be doing construction next season in 2023. So I'll provide as much details as I can on the specifics of where we're going. And our goal right now is really just to provide a touch point and expand awareness about where the project is, what to expect, and so forth. So we'll get into it here. Cut through traffic, speeding vehicles, particularly vehicles with modified mufflers, heavy industrial traffic. These are all issues that affect the neighborhood. And it affects it in terms of safety, comfort, noise, air pollution. And our goal with this project is really just to try to tackle some of those issues. And to the extent we can slow down traffic, discourage some of the cut through traffic, reduce some of the noise, we're really just trying to promote livability and quality of life in the neighborhood. Now, these are not necessarily issues that are unique to the Capitol Hill neighborhood. And traffic calming is certainly not something that's new. However, there's in recent years been an increased interest and attention being given to concern about high speeding vehicles, distracted drivers, and the implications for safety that makes, particularly as we're trying to expand our network of walking and biking routes and encourage a more active transportation. I will say we've come a long way in the 3 years that we've been working on this with the Transportation Committee. This has been really community driven, and all along the way we've tried to find quick and simple solutions, including lawn signs and reduced speed limit signs. But we've come a really long way, and part of it's just through the partnerships, engaging folks in the mayor's office, city council, police department, fire department, UDOT. All this has really helped us to bring attention to these issues and crowdsource ideas. So there's been a lot of boots on the ground, collecting comments, identifying issues and potential solutions. So again, this has really been a grassroots community-driven process all along. So Salt Lake City recently initiated the Livable Streets program, and this is to systematically implement neighborhood traffic calming strategies at the citywide scale. This program was initiated in the fall of 2022, so this includes dedicated staff as well as a recurring annual budget to do this citywide. This effort in Capitol Hill precedes the Livable Streets program a little bit, but it really serves as a springboard to help demonstrate neighborhood scale traffic calming strategies. So the funds that are being used for this particular project are through the city's annual capital improvement program, and the budget amount is about $600,000. The images that I'm showing here are just sort of steps along the way of developing the plan and looking at existing traffic calming devices in the avenues, testing different hump configurations with the fire department, looking at curb extensions. Many of you will recognize the quick build strategies implemented at 600 North and 200 West and Center Street. with the intent of, engaging the community, creating awareness about the plan, getting ideas, and then demonstrating too what can be accomplished at an intersection that simultaneously calms traffic and makes it safer for cyclists and pedestrians. So in this implementation phase, we're using the CIP funds to construct specific elements of the traffic calming plan that focuses on speed humps and intersection interventions. So here I'm showing our project website, which has a lot of the content that I'm going over today. I'm going to open up a web map that will show specific locations of these devices. And with this map, you can turn on an aerial, for example, if you want to see specific locations relative to a driveway that you're interested in. Each one of these locations shows some detail that we're using to plan and track the quantities and just the location. So to the extent you have comments and you want to communicate with us, you can use these unique IDs to help us understand the location. But yeah, you can pan and zoom around and look at different content. The broad application of speed humps here provides us a sort of a systematic approach to speed control. Right now there's 62 locations identified. Now, when picking these locations, the strategy is to consider the entire neighborhood as a network. And so this helps to avoid pushing issues from one street to the next. All gateways along the neighborhood, think of Third West as a source for cut-through traffic. All the gateway locations along the neighborhood have been included with humps, and it's sort of like a mosquito netting, right? In this case, we still let people into the neighborhood, but this sort of discourages that cut through, and we have the humps at regular intervals of about 250 to 300 feet apart, located at mid-block locations between stop signs. And this really helps to just reinforce the message. It reduces the tendency to speed up in between humps. And so, we've put a lot of thought in these locations. We've located them at parcel boundaries and mid-block locations. So, we're trying to avoid impacting driveways. We're also trying to thread the needle with other existing infrastructure like utility covers. We're looking for opportunities to put them near streetlights, those sort of things. So, we expect that there'll be some field fitting and minor adjustments to these locations moving forward, but generally we're not able to move these at a request if there isn't a good reason or a better location. So these locations are pretty well fixed, but if you see something that you want to bring to our attention, please respond to the emails at the end of the presentation. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the specifics of the speed humps, just to give you an idea of what we're talking about and what to expect. So, these speed humps can be built in a variety of shapes and sizes with a variety of different materials. What we're planning to deploy, it's a typical design, is a feature that uses asphalt pavement. They're about 3 inches tall. They're about 7 feet long in the direction of travel. I have a couple images up here that illustrate that. And I would say that the design range or the design speed is in sort of the 15 to 25 mile an hour range. If you're driving in that speed range as expected on residential streets, you're not going to really be inconvenienced. This design offers us quite a few different strategies. One is the construction is rapid. And this is good because it'll just minimize the impact of the neighborhood in terms of road closures and construction. Some of the concrete speed humps that you may have seen in other areas are typically more costly, and the construction is more involved. So these asphalt speed humps cost about a third of the price of concrete versions. And with those concrete versions, you have to saw cut the pavement, you have to stabilize the road base, pour concrete and let it cure. all of which can take quite a lot of time. With these, we're thinking we can build about 2 of these a day, and they could be drivable in about 12 hours. So again, rapid construction, very helpful. This design is also economical. I mentioned it costs about a third uh, of the cost to do these compared to the concrete versions. So this allows us to stretch our budget farther and really implement that network-wide strategy. Um, they're fairly compact in size, so that means as we're trying to thread the needle and find the locations for them, we can usually fit them between driveways. Although I will say, if it's close to a driveway, it's not going to really interfere with your access. Um, we don't have to restrict parking with these, and as I said, they're less expensive, but they're still very durable, and we know they're going to be effective for calming traffic. Each hump will have a pair of signs to help drivers identify the locations and anticipate the hump, and that's also helpful for our snowplow drivers so they can react and raise their snowplow blade during the wintertime. So next I want to talk about some of the intersection treatments. We have 7 locations that were selected for improvements. These generally involve curb extensions and median islands to calm traffic and improve the walking infrastructure. Um, the quick build intersection that I mentioned at 600 North and 2nd West is one that was done to really engage the neighborhood and showcase the types of changes that we can implement to promote safety. But really what we're trying to do is slow turning speeds, reduce pedestrian crossing distances and the exposure to vehicles while they're in the street. But this allows us an opportunity to upgrade ramps so that they're ADA compliant. And in a lot of these locations, we have sort of skewed or misaligned walking paths. And so this is an opportunity to correct some of those conditions as well. So just going back to the timeline of things, you know, there's been a lot of background, a lot of work done to get to this point. We're really excited to start to put together a bid package for a contractor to bid on. We get under contract and they'll be prepared to start construction next season. I know we're really excited about doing this. I know there's been a lot of um, support from the neighborhood, and a lot of people have been waiting for this for a long time. So we're happy to bring these changes. In terms of what you can expect during construction, we will have to do street closures. In most cases, we'll do a full street closure during the hump constructions, but as I said, it's a fairly rapid process. We don't think those streets will be closed for more than a day, and we do have the street grid and network to rely on, so hopefully the detours won't be too painful. We're not going to be building these all in one day, so as we march through, it'll be kind of a rolling process. So keep an eye out for traffic control signs, signs indicating closures and detours. When we're working on some of the intersection changes, that's going to require removal and replacement of sidewalk panels and curb and gutter panels. So those are going to take a little bit more time, to do the excavation and the concrete forms and then the concrete cure time. So, anticipate some closures to sidewalks and walking paths. In terms of parking restrictions, that's going to be really just limited to what we need to accommodate the construction activities. On the whole, there's not really going to be a lot of parking impacts with this project. Okay, so that really concludes what we talked about with the Capitol Hill Neighborhood Council last week and what we wanted to go over in terms of a project update. The QR code here links to our project website, which is also shown here at slcgov/transportation/caphill. I've got my contact information up here, as well as the contact information for the Capitol Hill Neighborhood Council folks. All right, well, thank you for listening, and let us know if you have questions and concerns. Thanks.